Valentine's Day is not too far off from the date of publishing this video, and it is a great event, a great holiday to create some designs for. Given the fact that it's really one of the first major holidays of the first quarter, it's really great to throw in, your design ideas into the mix for consideration, and you want to make sure that you're creating some amazing designs that aren't going to take you very long to create. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how I go about creating a particular Valentine's Day design, one that is scalable and that doesn't take a long time to create, so I can really throw as many variations of this particular design out there for people to consider. So with that said, let's head over to my computer and get started right now. Let's go. Okay, so welcome to my computer screen. Now, whenever it is that I'm going to start creating a design, very rarely do I open up, Photoshop or Canva or any of the other imaging editing programs that I might have in my arsenal for creating designs before I actually start, doing a bit of research. Research is fundamentally important whenever it is that you are going to create a design, because you want to make sure that you're going to create something that is going to give you a fighting chance to succeed and to make sales. Plus, when you do a little bit of research, it provides you with some creative motivation, some creative inspiration to help, hone your thought process and really tuck in and create something amazing. Now, I usually visit Etsy, Redbubble itself, some of the other, print-on-demand platforms, eBay even, and, even Amazon from time to time too as well. But one of my go-to websites, as many of you probably do yourselves, is by jumping onto Google. And as you can see here, I have a Google page open, and what I did was I typed in accounting and Valentine's Day t-shirt, because in my mind I wanted to create something pertaining to Valentine's Day, but to cross-niche it with occupations, because this is something that I believe will allow me to create a design that will be scalable. So that way, when I'm uploading my design, I'll also be able to upload variations of the original design, so I can throw out a huge net and hopefully, appeal to as many people out there as possible, particularly for this upcoming event, and hopefully land a few more sales than I would normally achieve or obtain during this particular time of the year. Now, normally I have to scroll through quite a number of images in order to get something and spot something and say, yeah, that's exactly what I want to use as motivation. And listen to what it is that I just said, that I want to use as motivation. We're not going to be copying somebody else's design, because that's just not right. We want to gain some inspiration, some motivation, and then see how we can, tweak and twerk it around a little bit in order to create something unique and hopefully to help us land more sales. And, basically what I do is I just click on the images that are generated. Let me move myself out of the way here. As you see, this one, Cupid's favorite accounting lover. The second one actually was the one that really struck my attention. My heart belongs to a sexy accountant. I said, perfect. This is something that I could really use as motivation and something that I could actually scale in order to come up with a lot of variations. So with this in hand, it was now time to head over to ChatGPT in order to see how I could refine this particular phrase and make it my own and make it unique. So I already went ahead and extrapolated the pertinent points of the conversation, because, like with all chatbots, it doesn't always fully understand what it is that you're looking for, or doesn't always get it right. So I decided, rather than waste your time with a very long drawn out conversation, I just pulled out the pertinent points which are relevant to this tutorial. So as you can see here on the screen, I asked it basically, I saw the following text on a t-shirt design. My heart belongs to a sexy accountant, and I want to change it up a bit so as not to copy, but still make it pertinent to Valentine's Day. The new suggestions should also allow me to scale the design by being able to switch out accountant with another form of occupation. Can you give me 10 suggestions? And ChatGPT came out with these particular suggestions. And again, as you can see here, it didn't just, keep my heart belongs to a and just change it up. It really gave me 10 different phrases that I could consider. And as I was going through them, the one that really caught my attention was number 4. My heart races for a passionate firefighter. In fact, I actually congratulated and told it that, great, okay, I'm going to use number 4. However, I've changed the part a passionate firefighter to my sexy firefighter, because I really like the word sexy. Sexy with Valentine's Day, it's a little bit cheeky, it's a little bit risque, it's a little bit naughty. I think it really works well with, a design for Valentine's Day. So then I continued, now I want to scale this design. I would like for you to organize a table with 20 different occupations. Do not use firefighter. The table should be structured in one column with the following title, occupation. And as you can see here, it gave me a list of 20 different occupations that I could use to scale into the design. So having had these 20 occupations, and again, I could have asked ChatGPT to give me more occupations. I could even go into hobbies if I wanted to. But for the sake of this tutorial, so that it won't be that long, let's stick to these 20 over here and start creating the design. Now, to create the design in today's tutorial, I hopped on over to Canva. So let's just head on over there right now. And basically what you want to do is you want to click create a design, or if you have custom design, if you use the canvas size before for print on demand, which is 4500 pixels by 5400 pixels, you're going to find that right over here. As you can see, I've already keyed it in. And because of the fact that I've used this before, Canva gives it to me in the recent list here. So whichever way you key it in, it doesn't really matter. And you're going to click on create new design. I've already gone ahead and did it. And basically, I was presented with a white background. Now, whenever it is that I'm creating a text-orientated design, I always like to change the color of the canvas to black so that I will know exactly how it's going to appear on a black t-shirt. Because as many of you know, black t-shirts are really the most popular type of t-shirts that are purchased in the print-on-demand industry. So, having said that, I obviously changed the background to black, and then I went in with a text heading, and I chose the font Henderson 6. I've chosen it because I have been using it recently. I really love, the boldness of the font. There's a bit of a grungy atmosphere to the font, which I really thought works really well for the print-on-demand industry. So I actually typed in my heart, and then I clicked on effects, and making sure that I clicked on curve. I changed the curve to 69. And what I also did was I also clicked on outline, and I chose the color sort of like a deep maroon red with a thickness of 30. And basically we had the first component of my design that I'm going to be using to scale different variations. Now, it was time to also create, an illustration, a graphic that I could put onto this particular design. And for today, I decided to use Leonardo.ai. So we head on over to Leonardo, and basically what I asked of it was, I want a Valentine's Day heart with feet and arms running from left to right on a plain white background. Now, many of you probably would say, you're using Leonardo, why don't you have a really nice background or whatnot? It isn't that I wanted a different type of background or a background pertaining to Valentine's Day. I wanted something that was going to allow me to extrapolate, the main character that I'm creating, and that would make it a lot easier for me to do so. And there's no easier way than having a plain white background. And when I first started out, Leonardo didn't get it right straight away. It started giving me different characters, with human people. And then after I repeated it a few times, it started getting an understanding of what it is that I was looking for. It still wasn't, what I was searching for. But then we started getting into, the realm of saying, okay, now we're almost there. This one at the bottom left over here really struck my attention. It looked really nice. The thing that I like about it were the thumbs. The hands looked like just globs over here. I know I could have probably downloaded and extrapolated the gloves and changed them over and whatnot, but I wanted something that wasn't going to take a lot of time to create. I wanted something that I could, put onto this design and focus on the main intention of the design was to scale and create different variations. And as we were going through, this middle one over here came through and it caught my attention. I still wasn't 100% and I tried it a couple more times, as you can see here, all right? They weren't that bad. This one looked pretty good in terms from the facial component, even the middle one here, but I really liked the legs and the arms. They were too thorny. The feet over here had some weird looking spikes over here. This one looked like a cross between Spider-Man or Spider-Woman and Superman. The colors just wasn't what I was looking for. This one up here didn't have eyes, neither did this one have a face. So, I could have tried a few more times, but I kept coming back to this one, and I really liked the fact that there was some motion in the legs. It did keep to what it is I was looking for, going from left to right. So this was the one that I was going to use for the graphic. So I downloaded it, and whenever you download an image from an image generator like Leonardo or from DALL-E 3 or Midjourney or what have you, it's very important that you upscale it. And one of my favorite websites to upscale is create.pixelcut.ai. Okay, so it's from Pixelcut. And it's very simple. All you need to do is drag the image over here. Let's bring one up now. We'll just use it as an example. So I'm going to bring the image and we're going to drag it over here. We'll wait for it to upload. And you have the option of uploading 2 times or 4 times. 2 times is available with the free version. 4x is available if you obviously get the pro version. So what I normally do is I upload it by 2x, then I bring the uploaded version back into it, do it another time, and that's effectively 4x. And obviously you're going to get a really nice high quality image. Now I already went ahead and downloaded it. The next thing we need to do was we want to go back into Canva. Okay, and what you want to remove the background from it. So let's just create another slide over here, and what I'm going to do, I already have it in my upload section, just so that I'll show you what it is that I did. Okay, so we're going to drag it in here. Now, because of the fact that I'm using the paid version of Canva, I can actually edit the photo and remove the background simply by clicking on edit photo. And in the Magic Studio, I just click on BG remover, and boom, as you can see, the background has been removed. Now, if you are not using the paid version of Canva, don't fret. BG remover does have a website. You can go to it. I'll leave a link to it in the description box down below, and then you can obviously remove the background over there and then just download it as a PNG. It's very important you download it as a PNG, otherwise if you choose any of the other file format types, you're going to get the background back and you're back at square one. So download it as a PNG, and then you can just drag it into the upload section in Canva. I brought the graphic into the image and I dragged it up really close, but not necessarily touching the main caption, my heart. All right. Now, the next thing that we wanted to do was to bring in the word races. So what I did was I just duplicated my heart, dragged it down, turned off the circle component, and then just retyped the word as races. And as you can see here, I have it over here, and I put it behind the graphic. I wanted to give the impression that this heart-shaped runner was running over it as if it was leaping over it. It's a form of hurdle. Now, the next thing I did was I created a script font for my sexy, which was going to be over here. And effectively, what you're seeing on the screen now, this was going to be the component that was going to remain consistent throughout all of the different variations. Now, the last thing that I did was I duplicated my heart because I wanted to keep that circular format for the occupation. I dragged it down below, re-inverted it instead of 69 to -69, and then I just typed in the occupation. In this case, it was firefighter, as you can see over here. So we had everything nicely balanced. I did tweak it around a little bit just to make sure, that it was all nicely even. Everything was centered accordingly. And I was very happy. Okay, so now that I have the design ready to be scaled, what I normally do is I make a duplicate of the canvas that I'm working on. So that obviously, if I make a mistake or if I want to go back to tweak, I can always recopy the original. That way, I'm never working on the original that I have. So to do that, basically, just go back to your Canva page, homepage. You find it is wherever it is, your design. And then what you want to do is you want to copy it. I've already gone ahead and done that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the first 4 pages. Again, you would have created everything all on one page. I've done this so that I could show you the steps that I took to get to, the final penultimate part of the design. So let's just delete those. Okay, so now it's like as if we created the entire design on one page. And what we want to do is we want to use the bulk create function in Canva. So what we want to do is in the app section over here, I already have bulk create listed over there. If you don't have it, all you need to do is click on apps, as you can see me hovering over it. And then once it comes up, just at the top here, you want to type in bulk. And obviously, if you spell it correctly, bulk create, and then you just hit enter. And obviously bulk create shows up and appears as the first one over here. Okay, so we're just going to hit on bulk create. And if you've never used this tool before on Canva, what I normally like to do is I like to choose the enter data manually. So we're going to click on that and we're going to clear the table because as you can see, Canva already gives us an example of what the table could potentially look like. So we're going to clear the table. Here, and all I'm going to do is just going to highlight the scene chef, go all the way down to fashion designer. I'm going to hit Control C on the keyboard or Command C if you are on a Mac, or if you want to, you can right click and choose copy with the mouse. We're going to go back into Canva, and in the title here, given the fact that we're only working with one column, I didn't really need Canva to create the title for me, so we're just going to we're going to click on here, we're going to type in occupation, and then in cell number 1, we're going to click Control V on the keyboard to paste, and we now have all of our occupations listed right underneath. This is what Canva is going to utilize in order to create the different variations of this particular design. Once I have them all put into place, all we're going to do is we're going to click on done. And now, having clicked on firefighter, which as you can see, we've got this purple border with the 4 dots at the corners. All right, what we're going to do is we are going to link this particular bit of text to the data that's in the bulk create section. So we're going to right click on it, and as you can see here, we're going to click on connect data, and this window with occupation is going to appear. I'm going to click on it. Firefighter has now disappeared, and we now have the word occupation in brackets. Don't worry if it's too big or too large or what have you. We're going to be able to tweak and fix these all once all of the variations have been created. Now, once I have all of the data properly, linked in, all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on continue. And then you can see all of the professions listed and toggled on the left-hand side of the screen. Now, if there are a few that I don't want Canva to create for me, all I have to do is just click on them and turn them off. As you can see, I've just done so, but I'm going to bring them back on. And then once I'm happy, we're going to click on generate 20 designs. Now, I already went ahead and did that for you, so we're just going to click on that. And as you can see here, let's head to the first one. We've got all 20 variations listed in the bottom. And if I just click on them one by one, all right, you're going to see we went from chef to mathematician to engineer, nurse, so on and so forth. Now, they all look properly aligned and they're all nicely balanced because I already went ahead and basically tweaked them because, for example, web developer, when it appeared, it was already too big. Let me just show you what it looked like. It was sort of something like this. It's inevitable. You're gonna have certain occupations that are gonna be longer than the space provided. It's no big deal. You just grab the handles and you're going to shrink them down and make it fit however you want to make it fit. Okay, and sometimes there will be occasion where, for example, for my section, you might need to move it up a little bit or move it down. Again, it's all up to you and what you see. You want to eyeball it and see what works and what doesn't. If you're uncertain, ask somebody in your family or who happens to be around you. Say, listen, come and take a look at this. Would you move this particular component of design further up, down, move it? Would you enlarge it? Try to get a third party perspective, somebody who's not going to be emotionally attached to the design, so they can give you a really objective point of view. And then once you've gone through them and you're very happy with that, okay, as you can see here, artist, wordsmith. I don't really hear of wordsmiths anymore, but we put it in. We got teacher, doctor, and so on and so forth. Again, photographer here was too large, so we're just going to shrink that down a little bit. Basically, and you're going to play around with it. Once you have all of the variations done, the next thing to do is to basically download them. So just above me over here, we've got the word share. We're going to click on that. Now, it is very important that you do not miss on these following steps. Otherwise, you're going to have a design with nothing but black in the background, and it is not going to work for a good number of items in the respective print-on-demand marketplaces. So we're going to click on download, and again, because of the fact that I am using the paid version of Canva, it provides me with the opportunity to click on transparent background. So all 20 of these designs are going to be downloaded with a transparent background. And what's going to happen is that Canva is going to combine all of them into a zip file, download it, which again, I can unzip it onto my hard drive, and then I can start the uploading process onto Redbubble, TeePublic, Zazzle, Merch by Amazon. If you want to use Printful or Printify and obviously link them with an eBay store or an Etsy store, you can do that. However, or whichever way you want to upload them to your respective print-on-demand platforms is totally up to you. So we'll just click on download, and then as you can see, let me move myself out of the way over here, we can see that the uploading, or rather the downloading process is actually happening. Once I've completed the download, if I want to create another badge, well, what I would do is I would go back to the original, I would duplicate that original again, okay, and then I would clear the data manually. So we're going to click on enter data manually again, and as you can see here, it's gone back to default. We'll clear the table, go back to ChatGPT and tell it, give me another 20 occupations, or give me 20 hobbies, a hiker, a camper, a canyoner, whatever. It's the creativity is limited by your imagination, okay? And then basically all you want to do is just copy the 20, put them over there. As you can see, it is now downloaded onto my computer. And you can go ahead and create another 20. Now, why am I saying 20? You could go ahead and do 30, 50, 60, 70, even 100 at a time. The problem is that if you're limited for time, or if you have a huge batch of 50, 75, or even 100 designs, it can become very monotonous and very tiresome very, very quickly to modify and tweak all of the occupations to put them, nicely balanced on your design. And the problem is that can actually turn you off. You might get tired and you won't upload them to your respective print-on-demand platforms. If you do them in batches of 20, you're going to feel a sense of accomplishment that you've uploaded something, you've provided something to your paying customers to chew on in order to consider purchasing. And if you actually want to start with the marketing process for those particular 20 designs, you can go ahead and do that. And that way, you're taking everything into piecemeal portions, so it doesn't seem overwhelming. You're still going to get everything up there, but again, in pieces that isn't going to come across as being overwhelming, tiresome. And if you're on a limited time, if you got a family, if this is your side hustle and you've got work to do, or you've got things to do that you need to, get done around the house or in preparation for whatever it is, wherever it is that you're working for, by doing this, you're going to be able to accomplish both, and you're going to feel a sense of accomplishment. So guys, when you're creating these kinds of designs, don't make it too cumbersome for yourself. Don't overthink it. Try to keep it as simple as you possibly can. More often than not, the simplest the designs that you create, the more fruitful, the more productive they are when it comes to sales. Yes, you can go into a lot of complexities and put in a lot of intricate components into design, and there's nothing wrong with that if you have the time and the patience to do so. But if you are getting started in this industry, it's really important to start providing a lot of good quality designs to your paying customers so that they will actually see what it is that you have on offer for them. Hopefully they start buying from you, and then that obviously triggers the algorithm of the respective marketplace where you're selling on to start promoting more of your designs to people who may not have heard or still have to learn about your shop, so that you can start creating sales. And then once you establish that, once you start gaining sales and you feel really comfortable with the whole uploading process or whatnot, then you can actually delve a little deeper and create even more intricate designs if you so wish to. What is important is that whatever design that you create, especially if it is a text type of design, make sure that before you go through the process of bulk creating the design, that you have your spelling and your syntax and your grammar correct. Particularly if you're using ChatGPT or maybe even Google Bard, the prospect of you making mistakes probably won't be as great. But if you're not using these particular bots and are trying to create something off the fly from your mind, which again, there's absolutely nothing wrong, but if English is not your primary dominant language, and again, for those of you, even if it is, and I'm not trying to put anybody down, I've made my fair share of mistakes too as well. You think there's an apostrophe in a word when there isn't, or vice versa. The worst thing that you can find to have happen to you is that you go through a whole creation of some amazing designs, or else what you think are amazing designs, and then somebody sees it, or you wake up the next morning, take a look at the design, and notice a glaring mistake right there in front of your eyes, which effectively means you have to go back to the beginning and start everything over from scratch, because you definitely do not want to upload a design or a bunch of designs with a spelling mistake. People will not buy it from you. They'll start associating the name of your shop with spelling mistakes, with errors, and they won't click into your shop and they won't visit you again. And you'll just basically be hearing nothing but crickets when it comes to sales. So before you do the bulk creating part, double, triple check the syntax, the grammar, the spelling of every word in your design. Get it right, and then bulk create, and then upload. Don't forget to put an effective title, an effective description. Don't forget to create some tags. I've seen a lot of designs still on Redbubble, on TeePublic, even on Zazzle, where they just miss out on a description. The design has mistakes in it, or they've duplicated and the title has a copy of. Guys, you don't want to do that. That's just going to hurt your chances of getting your designs out in front of potential customers. People won't buy it. It's all about the impressions when people see it. There's a lot of competition out there. The market is quite saturated. There's still a lot of room for growth and development, but you want to make sure that you stand out above all of the others, particularly when it comes to your titling, your descriptions. Don't forget to add an upsell. I'm going to leave a few links to some episodes that I created on my channel. If you are new to this channel or if you haven't yet seen them, I do go through these very important aspects. They are done with Redbubble. So if you're still selling on Redbubble, even if you're not selling on Redbubble, it is well worth your time to take a look at those videos. They're not very long. They show you how to create tags. They show you how to create an upsell in your description to encourage people in order to, seriously consider making a purchase from your shop so that you can take your print-on-demand business to the next level. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to invite you now to take a look at this next video here to help you take your print-on-demand business to the next level. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.